what is it that you would like to focus on this time around?
Well, when I ran for this office, I promised that I would make the Attorney General's office, I would get the politics out of it, and I would focus on one mission, the safety of everyday Virginians. That your safety is my mission as Attorney General. And as the top prosecutor in the state of Virginia, I take that very, very seriously. And I think the results speak for themselves. When I came into office, our murder rate was at a 20-year high. I thought that was unacceptable. We had too many Virginians that were right now the victim of violent crimes. And we rolled up our sleeves. We worked with law enforcement. We launched something called Operation Ceasefire. And we really went after these repeat violent offenders. We got them out of our communities, off our streets, and Virginians got safer. In our targeted ceasefire cities, we saw the murder rate drop 66%. When I came in the office, we had an addiction death rate that was at a high. It has dropped dramatically. And so over and over again, as the top prosecutor in the Commonwealth of Virginia, I'm so proud of the work we've done, making Virginians safe as the people's protector, and also corporate accountability for those corporations that are acting improperly. We have held them accountable as well with consumer protection and civil lawsuits. So we're very proud of the work we've done in Virginia, both on criminal misconduct and corporate misconduct, and also protecting people's civil rights. We had the largest verdict in Virginia history in our Civil Rights Division, the Attorney General's Office, on housing discrimination, because we believe in also protecting individual civil rights. We're proud of the work that we've done as the people's protector, and that's the plan moving forward. We're asking Virginians to rehire me to continue to protect them.
One of the things I know you're saying is that Jay Jones will make Virginia less safe,
No
and
question.
the streets more violent. I mean, why do you think that?
Well, he is the most left-wing candidate to ever run for Attorney General in Virginia history. He's never prosecuted a case in his entire career, but he's asking Virginians to hire him to be the top prosecutor. And then you just look at his record in the General Assembly. He's one of the most left-wing legislator ever in the history of the Virginia legislature. He voted against a bill that says if I'm a fentanyl dealer and I poison your child with fentanyl, they can't be charged with felony homicide. He didn't support that. He voted against a measure that would actually punish somebody for up to 60 days mandatory minimum if you're a repeat domestic violence abuser or a wife beater. He thought that was too harsh. He voted against a mandatory minimum for drug dealers for dealing drugs repeatedly on school grounds. He voted against that. He even voted to end the mandatory reporting requirement of sexual assault in our schools, which led to the disaster of what happened up in Loudoun County. Time and time again, he is cited against victims, against law enforcement, and with criminals and felons. Time and time again. I don't think he's qualified for this role. There's never been somebody who's this anti-police and this anti-law enforcement to ever run to serve as Virginia's top prosecutor.
One of the things that he is doing is tying you to Donald Trump quite a bit. He's trying to make that connection between you and Trump. And one of the things that Donald Trump has done, he's been very aggressive in getting rid of DEI initiatives. You criticize Costco. You criticize the American Bar Association. 5.8% of attorneys in the country are Hispanic. Is that too many? What is your goal when you
What
target DEI with the American Bar Association?
Well, listen, I am proud of the fact that I'm the first Latino to ever serve in this office as Attorney General and the first child of an immigrant ever served in this office. I want to see the full fabric of our community cross the economic finish line together. What I don't want is an America where somehow we're doing reverse discrimination against everyday Americans. I don't think that's healthy either. And I would just simply respond to Jay Jones's criticism. It actually shows he doesn't even understand what this job's main focus is. You're the top prosecutor of the Commonwealth of Virginia. You're literally the tip of the spear for protecting Virginians. That needs to be your number one focus as Virginians. That was my focus. There are more Virginians alive today since before I took office than today. More Virginians alive today than when I took office because our murder rate has dropped one third and our targeted ceasefire cities has dropped 66%. And our addiction death rate, we're not top 10, not top five. We had the number one drop in addiction deaths of any state in the entire country. Why? Because we rolled up our sleeves, we went after these big corporations, and these lawsuits that I filed against Purdue and others, it's the largest influx of money we've ever had to get Virginians for treatment. It's a really remarkable moment that we've had a double the national average in the drop in addiction deaths. So
Yeah.
yes, there are more Virginians alive today than when I took office. Virginia is safer today than when I took office. And so I'm asking Virginians to rehire me to be the people's protector.
You did not like when the former sheriff of Culpeper was pardoned. I saw your comments on that. What about the J6 rioters? Is that a problem to pardon them if you're about law and order?
Well, listen, I think in the town of Culpeper, my role also as the top prosecutor in the state is that I make that determination. I have to authorize every investigation and any elected official. And so my determination, I authorize that investigation. And with the facts that I was aware of, I would not have pardoned the sheriff of Culpeper. Clearly, the White House has other facts that I'm not privy to, but with the facts presented to me, I would not have pardoned them. And listen, I abhor political violence in all forms. I immediately condemned January 6th. I think there's no place for that. I thought what happened in Minnesota several weeks ago was abhorrent. But I also think that the murder of CEO Brian Thompson of United Healthcare back on December 4th of last year, I thought that was abhorrent. This was a man that was executed in cold blood in broad daylight in the streets of New York City simply because some people, some left-wing activists, didn't like the way he ran his company. So my feeling is all political violence in America, whether it's on the right or the left, should be condemned. And I thought it was so illustrative. Right before last year's election, all 50 state attorney generals signed a letter to the Justice Department condemning political violence on the left or the right. After the riots that had happened in LA, we sent a similar letter to the Justice Department. We only had 26 AGs signed. Not a single Democrat AG signed on to a letter, again, extolling how political violence is, in my opinion, abhorrent and un-American. So that would be my charge. I abhor all political violence on the left or the right.
So you didn't agree with the pardons of the J6
I think the president
rioters.
has pardon power. That's broad. The courts have upheld that. Clearly, he was privy to facts that I was not privy to. But I abhor political violence in all its forms.